In Moscow's latest and most explicit warning to the West, a top Russian foreign policy official has openly declared that Europe is on a collision course with Moscow, and this time it won't be limited to Ukraine. Oleg Karpovich, Vice-Rector of the Russian Foreign Ministry's prestigious diplomatic academy, has accused Europe of spiraling into geopolitical insanity, slammed German Chancellor Friedrich Merz as the new architect of war, and warned that Russia is preparing for total confrontation, including an all-out hybrid war.
It is no secret that the European military-industrial complex has already begun to prepare for a military clash directly with Russia. General staffs are making plans for confrontation, as if we were talking about the First World War.
In a scathing article that reads like a war bulletin, Karpovich tore into what he called the schizophrenic mindset of Western leaders, accusing them of pushing the world toward a catastrophic escalation while pretending to seek diplomacy. And at the center of Moscow's fury, Germany.
Friedrich Merz is inventing new ways to prolong Ukraine's inevitable agony. Berlin's latest idea is that Germany will act as a kind of a gasket through which American weapons will flow to Ukraine so as not to upset Trump's electorate. Sleight of hand and no fraud.
The warning comes not from a fringe voice, but from a senior figure at Russia's elite diplomatic training institution, signaling that this is not just rhetoric, but strategy. Even with Donald Trump back in the White House, Moscow no longer sees him as a reliable off-ramp from conflict.
There is still some hope for Trump's initiatives, but it is hardly possible to expect that he will move away from his somewhat naive approach to mediation.
The message is chillingly clear. Russia is preparing for a direct confrontation with Europe, militarily, politically, and digitally.
We should mobilize all our forces to repel our opponents. This is not only about conventional measures, but also about hybrid ones.
And in what amounts to a thinly veiled threat of cyber warfare, sabotage, and information disruption across European capitals, from Berlin to Brussels, London to Warsaw, Karpovich says diplomacy will only resume after Europe feels the sting of Russia's full-spectrum retaliation.
Only after the German Chancellor and others like him understand what a real hybrid war against Russia is, will we be able to count on true and effective diplomacy.
This latest Russian salvo leaves no ambiguity. The Kremlin is not just watching Europe, it's targeting it. With Ukraine becoming the front line of a much larger conflict, Russia's foreign policy elite are now preparing the Russian public and the world for a war with Europe that may no longer be fought in shadows, but in the open.